Hey everybody, this is Logan with Montana Ridge Outdoors. Welcome to another episode of the Working Man's Gear Review. We'll get right into this, but just remember, this gear is all stuff that I've bought and paid for with my own money and just giving you my honest opinion on it. So, today's review, we're going over bino harnesses. We have the Vortex bino harness and two different KUIU bino harnesses, the original KUIU harness and now the KUIU Pro harness. Let's start with the original. I've had this harness since they came out. I loved it. Super comfortable, super compact, keeps it tight to the body. I would say the only downfall to this harness is that on the back side it's open to the binoculars, and whether you're walking through the trees or belly crawling through a field, you end up with a lot of dirt and debris that gets down in the harness. And that's just a continual thing. I don't know if you can see that, but just full of pine needles and grass. I never really worried about it, but it could be kind of annoying. It does have two little side pouches, one on each side. They're not big, they're not good for a lot, other than maybe a wind indicator. I always put my wind indicator on this side, and maybe my bow release on this side. I think when I got this harness, if I remember right, it was around $79 to $80. Now, the KUIU Pro harness. So like I just said, the one thing I didn't like was that it was open on the back. On the KUIU Pro, they closed that. So now, your flip top easily folds down, binoculars in there. When you fold it back up, it's totally sealed up. Now I don't have a lot of time with this harness. I've used it half a dozen times maybe, but it is totally clean inside. And I wasn't trying to keep it clean, it works. It's a good system. They added this mesh back, maybe keep your chest a little bit cooler, and they also added that same mesh-like material on the back strap. I personally never had issues with the first harness being too hot or anything, but I'm not a big sweater. Maybe this will be better for some people. Much like the first issue, has a small pouch on each side. These ones are a little deeper. Granted, I think this is the next size larger than this, so the pocket, that would make sense. The pockets are a little bit deeper, but I'll still run the same thing. Wind indicator on this side and my bow release on this side. I really like this one. This is, out of the three, this is definitely the most comfortable for myself. And the third one, this is the Vortex harness. This came with the binoculars that I bought. I just recently bought the 10x42 UHDs, and I believe every pair of those Razor UHDs come with this harness. It's a nice harness. It got the job done. Very similar. Pockets on both sides. Flip top open. There are a few things I didn't care for about this harness. One being, when I was wearing it, the weight was constantly pulling it forward, just enough to where it was tipping off your chest about that much. Whereas with these KUIU ones, the binos and the harness just stay tight to your chest. I never had a problem, but it just self-consciously, I had to be more aware of it when they tipped forward. I always felt like my bow was going to maybe interfere with it, even though it didn't. I also wasn't a fan of this top with the binoculars that it came with. I felt that they were too tall and it just didn't get a proper seal. So even though when you look at it right now, it's totally sealed up, with the binoculars in there, it lifted it up just slightly enough to where you could not get a good seal. And again, this one, I only used it a few times before I got the Pro, and it was starting to fill with debris. It kind of just seemed like if it came with the binoculars, maybe they'd be a slightly better fit, but I realize it's probably just a universal harness that they make. But it does have a lot of good features. These pockets do stretch out a little bit more than these ones, so if you wanted to, you could put more stuff in there. I do like that it has this, so you can get different attachments, you can get different bags, you could put stuff on the top, whether it velcroed on or it went through these loop systems. And I did like, when you're sitting there glassing, I found myself with this harness keeping my cell phone in the same pouch that the binos are in. And these ones, it's a tight enough fit that I can't keep my cell phone in it, which isn't a big deal, but it was just kind of convenient. Pull it out here, look at your Onyx, keep going. Just seemed it was convenient. I definitely like that aspect. This harness did come with a rangefinder pouch that I really like. So I actually took that and put it on my Pro harness. Just super simple. Just Velcros on. I put it on my right side. I'm right-handed. I did attach a small tether to it. That way I don't lose another rangefinder. Zip that back up. So break it down by the price. Like I say, I think these ones, I don't even know if you can get this harness anymore, but it was right around that $80 range. This harness is right at $99. This one costs a lot more, but it came with a pair of binoculars. Of the three, I know it sounds cliche just because it's the newest harness of the lineup, but the KUIU Pro definitely has my heart. It's the most comfortable. It keeps the binoculars the cleanest. The inside of the pouch is spotless. There are a lot of options that you can get with it. KUIU makes different ammo belt attachments. They make a bladder attachment that's pretty cool. I'm thinking about getting that maybe for shed hunting season. Just putting a lot of miles on. Your bladder just goes right onto these straps, and you have a hydration pack. That would take up virtually no space, super lightweight. This is awesome. I did forget to mention, it has this little pocket up front. I have no idea what you'd use it for. And that's open and I can barely get my finger in there. So I don't really know what you'd use it for, but it's there. Maybe you could put a diaphragm in it. I just wouldn't suggest putting it too far because I don't think you'd ever get it out. So that's about it for this video. Short and sweet, to the point, but by the end of it, I would highly recommend this harness. If you do buy the pair of binoculars and you don't want to spend the money on a harness right away, this will definitely get you by. I just didn't find it as comfortable with the weight pulling away from my chest. And like I said, it just felt like something I had to be a lot more aware of. Whereas with these two KUIU harnesses, you just forget they're there. They're awesome. This one's got a lot of miles on it. It's dirty, it's filthy, but it's still fully functioning. So I hope that helped. If you're in the market for any kind of a harness, I would definitely suggest the KUIU, or just run with what you got. You could run this forever till the stitching fell out on it, and it would keep your binoculars safe. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Working Man's Gear Review, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you see the next one. Thanks, guys.